Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between. I am your host, James J., starring Kaliko Yachts, who's a little bit late today, Mitch Mayhem, who would not be joining us tonight, and Scooter Dust.
Hey, hey, hey!
And it's a great day for wrestling, Scooter, but maybe not a great day for Mauro Ranallo, who was released earlier this week from
Yep.
WWE. This is a big
Yeah.
kid for NXT, right? Being the voice of it for so long.
Yes, Mauro Ranallo, being, you know, uh, that almost iconic voice of NXT, but also at the same time, he saw that his, I don't want to say his welcome was up because that's not the case. It, he saw that it was time for him to move on because he was there more to be an advocate for people with bipolar disorder like myself, more than he was being a color commentator. And he felt his message had essentially, you know, gotten across, and his time was done. And it also, I believe, had to do with him wanting to take care of his ailing mother
Right.
as well. So nothing but respect for Mauro Ranallo. He's still going to be doing his not UFC, but his
Bellator.
MMA and Showtime boxing commitments. So if you really want to hear Morrow, you can get cable. Uh, or you can. I'm not sure where his MMA airs, but uh, this was this was an amicable release. Um, but having Mauro Ranallo in pro wrestling was definitely good while it lasted.
Do you
If
think
if
we'll be
anything,
seeing him in another wrestling promotion, whether it be an AEW or New Japan?
no, probably not. Probably not. Most likely, and this is coming as somebody who is bipolar, we form very specific associations when it comes to the times we have our downswings, and more often than not, Morrow would probably associate any pro wrestling with a lot of those bad times as much as the good times that were there. So he's probably putting pro wrestling in his rearview mirror, uh, and if it's to make himself better mentally, then more power to him.
Alright, whatever he decides to do, I'm sure it's going to be interesting. He's one of the goats of commentating. But Wade Barrett kind of took over for him. He did a fantastic job in NWA commentating. Do you think that he'll be able to fill that void, or do you think that it's going to be a big hole? It's
Uh, well, well, considering they are working a deal, they're trying to work out a deal with Stu Bennett, Wade Barrett. I can tell you right now, nobody will probably ever live up to the level of Mauro Ranallo. Mauro Ranallo was like like this generation's Joey Styles.
He knew how to get the crowd into it, didn't
he? Yeah, or even this generation's Jim Ross, which is funny because Jim Ross isn't this generation's Jim Ross.
Right.
But the thing about Wade Barrett is he's he's different. He focuses on the action. It's almost like they want somebody British on the NXT commentary team, considering they're relaunching NXT UK in about 2 weeks.
Right.
And I'm not sure if Nigel McGuinness is going to be over there, but optimistically, the dream for me would be seeing Nigel McGuinness and Wade Barrett, on the same announced team for an NXT takeover.
That would actually be pretty cool, especially for the British UK, considering that they always have at least one either American or on commentary there. Another thing that happened in the news, another release, the the poet, the prophets of pain, or
the authors of
authors
pain,
of pain.
Akam Razar, have been released. This was just posted even a little while ago, and then just a simple release. No reason as to why yet. Just that the WWE wishes them best in their future endeavors.
It kind of seems like the main roster run was kind of stop and start from the get go. Each one of them got injuries that kept them out for a prolonged amount of time.
And then they were finally coming up as Seth Rollins goons, and then the pandemic.
Right. And and once again injuries. Damn those injuries.
I mean, I think it's quite possible this is one of the teams that will get rehired eventually.
Do you think it was more of a cost-cutting measure, or do you think that they kind of saw that it wasn't working out and maybe come back at another date?
I think it's got more to do with that than because they could have been released a long time ago.
Right.
If they were released now, why weren't they released a couple of months ago with all the mass releases? I don't think this is anything to get upset over.
Do you see them going to AEW?
God, I can just imagine what they'd be called, like the writers of Hurt. I, I don't know, but the thing that the fact that they were named after the scientific theory where the the most obvious answer is usually the correct one. Occam's razor, and well, if AEW gets them and they're even halfway smart, they'll do another scientific theory related name.
They'll be the Pain Heart. What would be a good name for them? The writers of
I
Ouchie.
mean, the Raiders of Ouchie. I love that. The Raiders of Ouchie. The Boo Boo Bandits.
There you go. Now we're cooking. We will be covering more AEW in our main event with the All Out preview show.